All right, good morning, everybody. So we're going to start a new series today that is going to be section hiking Shenandoah on the AT. So should get about, I gotta get good lighting. There we go. So thinking about doing like 10 miles a day and trying out this new camera that I've got. As you can see, it's pretty cool. I'm tracking myself as we go around. So I'm going to start in the south and go the correct way on the trail, which is northbound. Just fun fact, in case you're wondering, northbound is the correct way to hike on the Appalachian Trail. So today it's going to be Rockfish Gap to, I forgot what it is. Let me see. So we're going to start down here at Rockfish Gap and then go past Calf Mountain to Sawmill Run. And so from here to here, in this orange line, is the AT. That's going to be today's hike. And so that'll give a good start. Let me see if I can get this to focus. And as you can see, this map's kind of big. And we're just doing that little bottom part right now today. This is going to take probably until June or July to finish. And that's going to be great because it'll give us a good, comparison to the springtime and the views that you can get when it is early and the leaves haven't come out, and then what it looks like later on after the spring is sprung and you can't see anything anymore because of the leaves. And you really get that green tunnel effect from the AT. That is going to be interesting. We're also going to start seeing section hikers definitely in April. We'll probably see a couple in March. Depending on how early they started, it'll probably take a month for most people to get to Waynesboro. And then Virginia's about a month. So, 6 weeks or so, I'd say 6 to 8 weeks will be the average for people to get to Shenandoah. Regardless, we'll definitely be there when the bubble's there. So we'll see plenty of thru hikers later in the series and better weather. Today it's going to be weird. So I've got my thermal top on, but not my thermal pants. I am bringing them, and I'm also bringing a puffy, hat, gloves, my buff, normal stuff just in case, especially when I stop, like it's going to get chilly. And then we'll take this. I'll shut up now because I wanted to do as little of this as possible, but I wanted to introduce the series and would love to hear your guys' feedback. Anything you want me to see in the park, let me know, and we will get going right now. Hi, everybody. So we are, and remember not to clog up the microphones. We're at Rockfish Gap, and that didn't work. There we go. Now we are going down the trail. This is one of the unfortunate parts about the AT, is that occasionally you have to cross a highway. Which is inevitable as you're going 2,000 miles up the East Coast. All right, I'm going to turn back on after we get into the woods. All right. This is Shenandoah in the early spring. And technically it's still winter, but we haven't had winter this year. And this is the backcountry permit. Do not operate while shooting. Alright, I just wanted to tilt down a little bit. Alright. This is the backcountry permit, so this is where you have to stop when you're doing a thru hike to grab your backcountry permit. And that's really just for counting purposes, so they know how many visitors have been in the park. They don't charge for it. The Smokies, they do, but every park's a little different. So we're just climbing up the ridge now. There's gonna be a few ups and downs along the way, as there always are. But because of this, if you take a look to the left, you can actually see a good ways out there. And this is what you don't get in the summer. It's kind of this sneak peek through the branches. Well, that's Waynesboro right there. And it's always a good thing to get out at different times of the year, because you get to see a completely different experience and different environment and all that fun crap. All right. I think part of my strategy is going to be to huff and puff less as these videos get made, do a little bit more conditioning during the week than I have in recent weeks. And this is some of the nicer trail too. Like, I got my trekking poles, but I really don't need them here. I think when we started our hike out of Waynesboro in the summer, last summer, I think we left at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I wanted the peak of the heat to be done, and we were like scrambling to get to Calf Mountain before the sun set. Oh, woodpecker. There are a lot of those in the park. Especially this time of year when it's so quiet. They really stand out. So here's a fun spot on the trail. There is that path down there. So we just came from up through there, and then hella city over there. But I was just kind of like chugging along, looking at the ground, and came to this fork in the road. And this is like why I got not lost, but like went down the wrong path too many times. The one to the left is a little bit broader and it goes down. So if I wasn't paying attention, I absolutely would have just like gone left. And like even those sticks that are right here, that's supposed to block people from going. I always ignored those because you hike over so many fallen trees, it's just like hard to tell. But the giveaway is the AT always goes uphill. I don't know how they manage it, but it always goes uphill. And there's some blazes. So this is definitely the way. I think we're going to get to the end of a ridgeline soon. And then there's a gap that's kind of cool. It's wide open field right before like a radio tower. I'm not sure exactly why there's a radio tower like at that point in the park, but well, I don't know if it's actually in the park. So this part of Shenandoah, we're not actually in the park at the moment. The Skyline Drive started right about where I was filming earlier, and the park is basically just the road and then the land immediately left and right. And I think it's up past, I think it's actually where we're going to stop today. That gap is where it really expands east and west to, cover the entire ridge. So that radio tower is probably not in the park technically, but they always leave a cooler water out. Well, at least in the summer. I don't know if there's going to be one in February, but we'll find out. It's like a interstate compared to other parts of the trail.
Alright, I'll bring you all back after we get to that field. So as you can see through the trees, kinda, there's a summit over there. We just came through there and up the trail. That's McCormick Gap. We're about 4 miles into the hike right now. I'm just taking a water break. And so we're going to go up the trail, and the communications tower is next. And then Beagle Gap is the next gap after Bear Den Mountain. And that was where that field is. So I decided to come in a little early and just show you what I'm seeing around here. You know, much lighter gear than what I had this summer, but it's getting kind of warm. It's supposed to get up to like 60 today in Waynesboro, so I assume it'll be mid-50s on the ridge. Beautiful day to be out here. A few other people on trail too. Alright, getting close to the communications tower, which you can see right there. I assume. I can't really see too well in the viewfinder that's on this camera. But the trail gets kind of tricky up here. I definitely went down the wrong way over the summer. Another pine grove. It's the second one today. I don't think I was filming during the first one. From what I understand, the pine needles change the pH of the soil, which prevents most other plants from growing. Pretty sure ferns can still grow, but very little else. Which is not necessarily the case here. It doesn't look like it's dense enough of pine to stop everything, because there's like grasses and stuff around here. Roads all over the place. So that's the communication tower. Remember there being like a big fenced area and a cooler. That might be after Beagle. That might be like a different, like this is a communication tower and the other one's a radio tower. So I want to say there's something about like amateur broadcasters on a sign at that one. We'll find out. There was a hawk circling around me a couple times earlier today, so we'll see if he comes out to say hi. I'm wondering if, like, they haven't learned to look for hikers and then fly in front of us, because we might drive out the smaller animals like rabbits and squirrels and stuff. But I don't know if there's many of them hanging out this time of year. Not a lot of cover. It's a nice little section. Hiking down a road. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. See, that's a definite, like, radio tower. The one before was just, like, a little thing. Oops. I gotta do a better job of, like, not letting this drift. Seen a lot of the right side of the trail. So one of the things that's nice about a lot of the guidebooks is they use the trail as like a compass. So right now we're traveling trail north. If we're actually traveling north, I don't know, but all the directions will say trail east, trail west, so that if you're traveling north, you know trail west is a left-hand turn, trail east is a right-hand turn, and then going the opposite way, trail east is a left-hand turn and trail west is a right-hand turn when you're going Sobo. That way you don't have to think about like reversing it for half the people that go south from the people that go north. But I think it is generally a north-northeast compass direction in the park. I'm gonna head over to Calf Mountain Shelter when we get over there. Show you that. It's the only shelter that's not in the park that's this park style. I think it's an older one actually, like an older style. There was a trail closure, I think a bridge was out, so I'm wondering if that's still the case. I would imagine it is. Just having from worked with the Park Service and other government agencies, things don't tend to happen particularly quickly. And especially a bridge for the AT, it's not technically in the park. It's a stretch, not high priority. Yeah, well, and then it's going to even follow further down because the footbridge across, I guess it's the Potomac? Yeah, it's the Potomac, at Harper's Ferry, got damaged and it's closed because a CSX train derailed in December. And so I'm curious to talk to some thru hikers to see if they have heard what the workaround is. I'm sure I could look, but it's a good icebreaker for a thru hiker. Alright, so we're almost at this thing. Which I'm gonna get like Department of Homeland Security up my ass because I'm filming at a communications array on government land. No, this isn't anything like that. I doubt there's even anybody here. I wonder how much cancer I'm getting from this. These radio waves at this intensity. Alright. I heard something over there. Like a snake or a mouse or something small. Oh, there's people up here. Alright, I'm going to turn it off. I don't want to ruin their privacy. Successful little snack break. There's two couples up there just kind of chatting, and then a couple other people came through. Got to pet a corgi, which, like, who doesn't want to pet a corgi? I definitely got the most love because I had my snacks out. I know what dogs like. Treats and head pats. Alright, so I think what's next is Bear Den Mountain, which I didn't, like, register when I mentioned it earlier. But, like, it is hibernation time for bears, and I'm pretty sure they hibernate in dens. So Bear Den Mountain doesn't sound like the most bear-free place in the world. However, if they're asleep, it's not really much to worry about. I'm not planning on finding a den and going in to say hello. see what's over here. In a couple months, this is going to be amazing because the buds will still be small in the trees, but the flowers will be coming out. Yeah, not much. But this is a view you wouldn't get later in the year. I mean, not that it's much of a view. There. I wish I could zoom in on that. Oh, let's take a picture. Alright. Heading down into Beagle Gap. No bears in Bear Den Mountain. And gonna cross over Skyline again. Not as big of a field as I remembered. Bam. So that's the trail. Oops. I don't know how that happened. Here. There we go. Alright. Sorry for showing y'all the sky just then. I don't know what happened. Still getting used to this new camera. So this is the trail going down. We'll go through that gate over there and then across and up. You can kind of see like a, I think you can see a muddy swash through that field. I remember there, I forgot what had, something, I feel like someone had a emergency here when we were hiking through. Not like a real emergency, but like hoping that there were, I don't remember what it was. I want to say bathroom related, but I don't remember. Not really appropriate for polite company either. So I'm wondering why there's so many cars here. Like, I don't think that there's any like Calf Mountains over here, Maybe people are going to Calf Mountain. No, that lady's just trail running. But that's probably what a lot of people are. I hope she's not running because somebody got hurt. That would be super bad. Hopefully she's just training. We'll find out. I've learned to look for these instead of climbing over. Cattle and other livestock can't get through there, so they put them up in a lot of them in Virginia. Now we're in Beagle Gap. Alright. So just got over Little Calf Mountain. Probably film a little bit on the way back. There's a bunch of people up there just chilling. So again, didn't want to ruin their privacy. People come out here to get away and stuff, so it's a little bit easier to have conversations with them too if I'm not filming. Nice little view up there. Should be, I think we're about 1.25 miles from the shelter. And then, that lady that was running, no emergencies. She was just trail running. Her boyfriend was right behind her, so definitely was not an emergency. And then I think I'm not gonna go to that gap that I was gonna go to originally. The day got a little bit of a later start than I would have otherwise liked, and I had to go to, well, I didn't have to, but I went to Kroger to get food for today, some bars and stuff. And so I want to make sure that I get back to my car while there's still daylight, because I didn't bring a headlamp, which is a rookie mistake. You should always have a headlamp, because you never know what's going to happen and get stuck. But I should be fine. Just don't want to push it to the sunset. Give myself a little bit more cushion. So I'll just pick up the next video at Calf Mountain and we'll go north from there. But I want to show you all the shelter in the spring. We were just talking about it. There's 3 guys up there smoking a couple cigars, and definitely haven't been out that much. I could tell by what they were saying. They were joking around about the spring at Calf Mountain and coming out of a PVC pipe. I think it's a PVC or metal pipe. I don't remember which, but not what you expect in the wilderness for sure. But once you've been on the AT for long enough, that's pretty common. So just joking around with them. And then they wanted to, oh, it should be a campground on top of Calf Mountain. It's kind of like a bald. I'm like, no. Think about the wind up here and then no water. Definitely not a place you want to be trying to spend the night. But it would be pretty awesome. Hello, how you doing? Nice paths down here. It's a little bit different in the south. It's like my second time hiking this section. A little bit different, a little bit more people than I was expecting. I guess so close to Waynesboro, it makes sense. It's a little bit trickier to get to the middle of the park. I don't know how busy it is in the north. But anyway, not what I'm used to. So I think that's Calf Mountain right there in front of us. I think this shelter is on the left side, or the west side. I don't know. assume this is the cairn for the top of Calf Mountain. I don't see anywhere up to go from here, but those are also famous last words. Oh, a butterfly. I don't know if you can see him. That's pretty cool. A little early. Hopefully that's a sign of good weather to come. Alright, we are at the Shelter Spur Trail. Got a nice little blue kickover on the tree here because the signs are barely legible. It's pretty badass. Gonna put some barbed wire around the fence. I don't know why you would want to do that. See, like, this trail's rocky, but this is not. Oh, chipmunks. But it's, like, manageable. I'm not trying to pick every step over loose baseballs like Pennsylvania. Yeah, I need to stop complaining about that section of trail. It's one of the longer side trails in terms of like getting to a shelter throughout the entire AT. However, it's pretty typical for Shenandoah. Most of the shelters are at least a quarter mile off trail. Whereas a lot of the other ones, particularly down south, are like on trail or a couple hundred yards off trail. Oh, there's a spring here too. It's not the spring I remember though. Okay, so here's the spring. Yeah. See, like, the PVC pipe just comes out of the ground. And that's like the spring. It's protected by chicken wire. It's flowing good right now. There's going to be some tent sites to the right coming up. Let's see. It's starting to open up in a little bit for the shelter. Tent sites over there. There's the shelter. Doesn't look like anybody's here. Oh, I remember why this was different. I know that this was a different shelter than the others. The picnic table goes underneath.